The following tale is a true one, which took place long ago in a wee village in the northwest of Ireland, there in the shadow of the Blue Stack Mountains in South Donegal. It's the story of Michael and the Fairies. Now, Michael was a poor farmhand. He was also a musician. Sure, he was alright enough as a musician, but more important than any of that, he was good to other people. He respected those things that might seem strange to you and I. Whenever he went to bed at night, he'd leave a small fire burning in the hearth, and he'd leave the best of wine out as well. For the fairies often gather at night whenever all are asleep, and they love a good tipple. Now, fairies are very different from what you and I usually picture nowadays. We usually think of Tinkerbell or something like that, the leprechaun from Darby O'Gill even. But in old Ireland, they knew better. For fairies with all their strange powers often look just like you and me. God knows you could be talking to one now and you wouldn't even know it. So Michael would always be generous to strangers, for a stranger may be one of the fairy folks come to test his goodwill. One moonlit evening, in the heart of summer then, Michael was coming home from playing the fiddle at a friend's wedding in Donegal town. It went very late into the night, as Irish weddings often do. He was taking a wee shortcut on his way home when he came upon an old castle. It's still there today and known as Donegal Castle down by the River Esk. Michael was suddenly very tired and sat down in the grass. At this stage it was looking very inviting indeed, especially after a hearty evening of revelry and standing tapping his feet as he played, and before he knew it he was fast asleep. As he slept, as that deep kind of sleep after a hard day's work, he dreamed that he was at yet another wedding, but this time it was a fairy wedding with the most beautiful, peculiar music and dancing going on around him. Suddenly, Michael was surrounded by vibrant colours, golds and silvers and resplendent rubies, and he could hear the fiddle and he could hear the harp and all sorts of alluring sounds. The fairy fiddler recognised Michael for the good man he was, so he took him aside. He introduced himself. Come here to me, son. I'm Angus, and I've been playing the fiddle for many a year. God, it must be a good 10 centuries or so now. I'm no maestro myself, said Michael, but I do love to go on a little ceilidh and I love to play for my friends. I love to bring the joy of music to people in my own wee way. Moved by Michael's humility and by his good spirit, Angus then proceeded to teach Michael the fairy style of music, highly ornamented and full of the rhythm for dancing. He continued, I'll show you a few wee tricks that I've picked up over the years. The fairy was being of coy, of course, for whenever Michael awoke, he was a changed man. He had retained what he had heard and he'd learned from this generous stranger, and his skill as a musician was brought to the highest level, a more equal measure now for his hospitality and for his good sense. From that point on, then, Michael was able to make a good livelihood from playing the music of the fairies, and he became renowned around Ireland as a fiddler. This is all a welcome reminder to treat strangers right, so you never know who you might be entertaining, or indeed the adventures which you might be led upon.